How are we doing? Gonna do maybe quick stream, maybe who knows how it's gonna come out. But we're gonna get into some stuff today, boys. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I've been called to do this. How's everybody doing? What's going on? So, where do we start? You know, many of you guys don't really know me. You know, and I don't think, and, you know, it's difficult to know anyone in these times nowadays, you know? And, you know, over the years since I was a child, you know, I've always been the one, you know, people come to for guidance or information, you know what I mean? You know, and it's always been an interesting thing because there's very rarely been people I can go to, you understand? And I think the God's made it that way because, you know, everybody has their purpose in life, right? You know, I can't tell you how many, in the past 3 years alone, you know, and most people don't know this. There's a saying, trainers are allowed to have a bad day, okay? You know, for instance, when I was training for Equinox, right? I'm training the CEOs of multi-billion-dollar companies, okay? If I come in and this guy, you know, his wife just left or something happens or whatever it is, okay? And, you know, if for whatever reason I influence that client negatively, he goes back to work and 1,000 to 100,000 people have their lives, you know, influenced, okay? We have a very high responsibility to society as trainers, right? We're not allowed to have a bad day. As my master would say, you know, complaints go up the chain of command, okay? And, you know, I unfortunately was always put in that position of being, dumped in that position, which it is what it is. But many people come to me asking for advice, you know, I've always wound up being the spiritual advisor, which is, you know, why I wasn't allowed to, you know, stay in the monk life. I was told to maintain my station in life. Yay. You know, but I think I want to give this to you guys. And it's difficult. I can't say too many things, you know, because being a man is very difficult. You know, like, who do we go to when we're in trouble, right? You know, who cares? And look at my channel, for instance, right? How many people have you seen show me any compassion? You know, how many people have you seen show me any kind of empathy? In any way, you know, and if you really pay attention, right? You know, you know, like I'm a fighter and that, but, you know, I'm not a nice guy, I'm a good guy. Have you seen anybody really, you know, really, I mean, like in that sense, right? I mean, how often do you see men get compassion that way? So it's difficult for guys to even express issues, right? So right now, I'm going to go over a situation I'm dealing with now because I think it's going to help some people. I guess I should just go into that one first. You know, a lot of people were asking me before I took when I had to move again, you know, people wanted me to talk about PTSD and things like that. And, you know, I had separate channels where I was doing these kind of things. My Facebook Live, you know, was basically teaching all this kind of things. So, you know, now that I don't have those because I've been silenced, you know, people are still asking. And now the guys here are starting to ask, you know, for more philosophical and spiritual advice. And, you know, it's difficult to do it without affecting my brand, right? And also, I don't want to throw people under the bus. But sometimes you have to throw people under the bus. You know, that's the thing about being a man. Like, you know, we have to take abuse. You know, our value is in our disposability and our self-sacrifice, right? We're supposed to take abuse. And if we complain, you know, or if we stand up for, you know, if we complain, we're a pussy, or, you know, they'll always gaslight us and project. You know, nobody's there. You know, there's no place for a guy to go when, you know, there's women's shelters, there's things for kids, there's things for migrants, there's nothing for men. You know? So it's difficult. And now in the last 10, 15 years, men aren't even sticking up for each other. You know, men are supposed to be, you know, idealists and women are opportunists, I get that. But now, since, you know, so many single families with no fathers in their lives and society breaking down, you have a situation where women are trying to become more masculine, but they're not taking up the idealism and the morality, right? And men are becoming more feminized and gave up their, you know, so now they're becoming opportunistic. So we have this double feminine it's toxic femininity worldwide. It's what it is. And that the adversary works in inversion. Okay, they tell you something, they do put it backwards. If they tell you it's toxic, it's going to be toxic femininity. If they tell you it's left, it's right. It's just how it works. It's how it works. But I want to go over this concept of the envy, betrayal, forgiveness. Okay, and the false light. And what are so many of us. Okay, it doesn't matter how big or small or what level or what world stage this. You will deal with envy, and you will deal with betrayal, and you will deal with kind of stuff, okay? Envy is not so terrible, generally, right? Because you can see it, you can avoid it, protect yourself. You don't get betrayed by, many people, who you don't know, right? You can get envy from anywhere, but the betrayals come from the people who are closest to you, right? And how do you deal with forgiveness? Why is it so hard to forgive people? I'm going to tell you why, because you have to eat the cost. That's the problem with forgiveness. And, the reason why, if I told you guys what I've been through in just the last 4 years alone, you wouldn't believe me, and it would just, if you did, it's so intense and so bad, right? But then at the same time, I'm protected, and I'm still always okay. I mean, I'm talking about I almost died 3 times, okay? And I'll come out and I'll do a video once a month because I had to hide how bad my condition was. You understand? Because nobody cares about the wounded warrior. Okay? No one wants to see a damaged hero. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. It's just the way the world works. You have to just accept that. Okay? Men are disposable creatures. All right? It just is what it is. But why is forgiveness so difficult? You have to eat that cost. Okay? I've learned, I have a big stomach. And I generally go in situations, since childhood understanding psychology, I understand understand humans very well. So I go in situations knowing, preparing for betrayal, and that's what saved me. I am smarter than most people. It's not trying to be egotistical. I have an IQ of 176. Okay, I was a super goon. Okay, so I was a super goon as a kid, And I became this version because it's the only way to survive, right? There's no way I wouldn't have made it. I had to purposely, constantly dumb myself down, make myself look less intelligent. You have to do this, otherwise I wouldn't survive. You understand? People hate you when you're too good. That's why, you've never seen my full ability. I got so used to hiding what I can do and hiding my potential because it made people feel small, right? And then they hate you. And it doesn't have anything to do with you being, when I was, coming up as a musician, I was literally, I'm not saying this, because I had no self-confidence, okay? I did not believe in myself at all. I had faith in God, okay? And the messages I got from God, it sounds strange to you, but this is the truth, okay? And many people know I was a psychic channeler, okay? And I'm not going to argue this, okay? There's plenty of people who will hundreds of people. In fact, that's why I was banned from Facebook, okay? Point is, I kept going on principle and knowing that there's a mission that has to be taken care of and that my ancestors are depending on. Thousands of years of warfare and strife, and my ancestors traveling across the world and, fighting and dying. And I made it. I survived this hell. I'd be damned if I'm gonna quit. You know what I mean? This is I couldn't live with myself. So, that's the reason for the hair, by the way. It's a connection to the ancestors. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make was I didn't have confidence. Okay, I had anti-confidence. I taught myself how to play guitar. One of my friends in choir school, I played in some little bullshit side band, and I didn't know anything. My family didn't give me anything. I paid for my classes by working in my teacher's garden. Okay, everything I did myself because it was that abusive and that crazy. All right, so I don't want to go too far into it, but like I'm just gonna say this. I had 8 months. My friend died in a car chase from the cops. The drummer in the little band says, "Hey, I'm gonna go to music school in the end of the year. Why don't you come with me?" I'm like, "Dude, I can't read music. I don't know how to do any of this shit. Like, I'm gonna be competing with kids who have like families that fucking paid for their lessons that were 4 years old. It's like little genius Asian kids and shit. How the hell am I gonna compete with that?" And he says to me, "Well, you have 8 months. Just take some lessons, figure it out. And if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't." And I'm like, eh. So I go to my karate teacher and I told him what he said. He said, "You know what? Listen, if you can survive my training, you can survive anything. This is the hardest thing you'll ever do in your life. And you're worried about playing the guitar?" And I thought about it, and I'm like, he's right. At that time, I was an action hero, okay? I did some crazy shit in my life, okay? Like, I had no fear. I'm talking about jumping off of moving vehicles, riding the top of the subways. Like, I was crazy and I had no regard for my life or my safety in that way, okay? Like, I maybe had a death wish, okay? So I'm like, what am I? So I went to this music store, Royal Music in Canarsie, Brooklyn. I bought 3 books. And I sat in this basement for 8 hours a day. And I'm telling you, I played until my fingers bled. And I went and took this audition. On the way to this audition, my mother tried to turn back 3 times. I'm talking about screaming and cursing. "Fuck you, I hate your fucking guts, you piece of shit. You're just like your father." This is the most insane, evil shit you could ever think a human could say to their child. Okay? I get into the school. And not only get into school, I got a partial scholarship. Then I get on Dean's list. Okay? Like, I killed myself. And I busted my ass. But no one ever came to support me. You see? When I broke my hand in school, and I was begging these counselors, I was begging them, "Please help me. Please, can you please help me?" Like, I'm living in my car. My family won't sign my financial aid forms. I'm going to default on this loan. I need to get emancipated. I need help. Nobody would help me. Finally, I went to my karate class and I accidentally broke my hand because I knocked myself out. Well, I've never actually been knocked out. Okay, I've never been unconscious. I've been hit with bats. Something about I don't get knocked out. Okay, but I got dazed real bad. So the second time I was about to hit my head in the ceiling, and it was like a popcorn ceiling, and I jumped with my head like this, and I smashed my hand into the ceiling, broke my knuckles, and I got paint chips all inside of the hand. You can see there's like little scars and shit. Okay? So anyway, I'm not going to stop going to school. So I put a broken piece of karate board on my hand. I took some old white belt, and I tied it around my hand, and I went back to school. And I went like that for 3 weeks, and until it was gangrene and black and swollen like this. And my teacher finally said, "Oh, you gotta go to the hospital, bro." I go to the hospital, no anesthetic, no nothing, puts my hand in a bucket of it was a combination of isopropyl, witch hazel, and peroxide. And they took this special Brillo pad sponge and scraped all the freaking meat and skin and bone and everything out. And the doctor was amused how tough I was, But it was just like I was already psychologically crazy at that point. I didn't feel I was on a different level, okay? There was no regard for my own life. There was no value in my own life. You understand? It was an honor thing, and I had a goal, but there was no value. I didn't see anything like that. You see what I'm saying? And the reason I bring this up is I didn't have anybody support. I didn't have any confidence. The teachers there were telling me that I'm supposed to be the next Yngwie Malmsteen. Okay, I get accepted to every conservatory in the country. I went to take the audition for the Queens College Conservatory. I was the only one who got in that day. 25 people auditioned. At the end, the guy gives me a speech. Okay, he says to me, "Listen, if you want to be a rock star, quit, go get a job as a janitor at a record label. If you want to be a professor with a parking spot with your name on it, come here." That's how hard I practiced and trained, and that's how good I was at the time. Okay, this is 20-something years ago. You know? I didn't have any self-confidence. But I couldn't do it. You know why? Because it defaulted on my loan. Because my family fucked me. Why? Because of envy. My own family was envious. My mom was supposed to be just like, she's a professional ballet dancer for the New York Ballet and all this other shit. And, I got blamed, for her. You know how it is, guys, So I was hated for existing. No matter how good I was, nothing mattered. So, why bring this up? I was coming up through the levels, I started my band, but I never thought of myself as the single solo guitar guy, or like the fucking, that was never my thing. My whole thing was building community, because the only structure I understood was my grandmother and my grandfather gave me my moral set, and then the mafia, the gangs, and the military. I used to deliver the paper to the Gotti Club, and at the same time I was like, I was surrounded by so many of the old school people that gave me my morality, but it was always based around community and your part in the wheel. I didn't understand this idea of, and I try, but it's not really in my nature, you understand? Like I'm not, and YouTube may make me look that way, but it's never been me, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm bringing this up because so many people that I would bring up, in my band, I taught everybody how to play, I paid for everything, I did everything. And at the time I was a counselor for the 61st Precinct Youth, right after 9/11. And these cops stopped us at my friend's building, illegally, broke my hand, broke my wrist, okay? I was actually a counselor for freaking John Jay High School at the time, okay? And, once that happened, and everybody thought that, they just disappeared. Everybody just disappeared, They stole my music, they stole my work. And to this day, people are still robbing me, And I'm saying this, I'm trying to give you examples of, how when you're really good, and I don't just mean good at a thing, but that's important too, but when you're just good in general, and you don't understand, and you have nobody, and you don't have a support system to protect you, which most men don't, you will get betrayed, okay? You will get shitted on. When you're seen as single, right? My dentist almost killed me, literally almost killed me, and they got away with it because I'm on myself. Men don't stick together anymore. And I'm gonna talk about what just happened to me with this friend in a second, because I think that'll be helpful for you guys also. But I'm trying to give you examples of, how I've survived so much crazy shit, and I'm hoping that if you see that it hasn't been easy for me, okay? It hasn't been easy for me, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people see the picture and they don't get it. I'm either the asshole, fighter guy, or, they don't want to see the full picture, There's a human behind the camera, I'm busy, bro. The cat wants to say hi. Yeah. He hasn't seen her in the stream. So he used to come on the stream all the time, and he used to do his thing. He's the guy, right, buddy? I know. Okay. All right, you've had enough. Get out of here. So, anyway, I don't know. I don't even know if this is just a random... What the fuck is it? I gotta turn this off. Sorry, guys. But, do not disturb. Okay, there we go. Because I get these notifications and I screw you guys up. Sorry about that. Hey, thanks, man. So, I might stop this stream. I'm done with this little spiel and then do another one for your Kung Fu guys. But, there's been people who've been asking me, for a lot of advice and things. And I think more importantly, at this point, is to realize that, everybody goes through shit, okay? You know what I mean? And I've been able to deal with these things just through faith. And not in the sense of the Christian, Jewish, Muslimish, faith like that, but an actual knowing what God is internally. You understand? To actually be able to hear your guides. Okay, because if it wasn't, I'm gonna tell you honestly, if it wasn't for my spirit guides, I would not be here. And people who know the story about how I got here, okay, and maybe I'll tell that one again soon. But I was told to leave New York. I was told what would happen. I posted everything to the day on Facebook. Okay? So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. Okay? That is what really keeps me going, understanding this is a spiritual war. All right? And I was, luckily, that's one thing my mother did for me, from the beginning, was teach me about the end days and the apocalypse. Okay? And preparing for that. So, yeah, I was lucky that way. But anyway, so going back to the title, I digress, but I figured it'd be good for you guys to hear some of my background, But we have to accept the fact that, unfortunately, many, if not most people are infected, okay? They're infected with this narcissistic cluster B virus, okay? My opinion is that most of it comes from the toxoplasmosis infection, all right? And like it actually is almost like being taken over by some kind of like parasite. I've seen good people turn, okay? And it's not just social engineering and programs. There's something deeper than that's going on, okay? It's just way deeper. So we're all dealing with, envy, and it's kind of, it's just part of the situation. And, when people get envious, people start to do nasty things, you know what I mean? And you have to be able to handle it. And as a man, we're being taught that if you stand up for yourself, you're an asshole. So it's the techniques of this. It's basically, we're dealing with narcissistic abuse systemically. And people don't even understand it. People don't even know what narcissism really is. They think it's somebody that likes to look in the fucking mirror. They don't get it. And I suggest if you don't know what that word means, you better look up NPD and start researching, because we are in a massive crisis of narcissism. And I'm not talking about pretty pictures and liking how you look in the mirror. I'm talking about an actual psychological diagnosis of evil, because that's what it is. Okay? So when you're talking about this forgiveness thing, how do you forgive people? And I'm going to tell you, I was in a situation with, it almost killed me. I've been able to forgive everyone except this one bitch during the lockdown, okay? That I've never been so disgusted and angry in my life that it made me sick, that I was vomiting, that I was so disgusted and angry. Because it's a cost. You have to eat the cost. You know what I mean? It's true. And I'm glad you guys, and that's why I thought I had to say this stuff today. And I also need to prepare you guys for what's going on in the background with the channel and the other thing, because I have to tell the story. And I haven't told people what happened with Expert Movement, okay, the expertmovement.com. And I have to now. And my loyalty and my honor system has been taken advantage of constantly, consistently, and I constantly give people the benefit of the fucking doubt. I try to do the right thing, but there's a point where if you stay silent, you get screwed. But then if you talk, you get screwed, because you know what I mean? These people position you in these corners you can't get out of. You see what I'm saying? So let me explain to you what happened with Expert Movement. Okay. So I went through the whole training thing, and because I was a trainer at KT Boxing at the time. My buddy, he was a big deal trainer in New York, and I said, hey, do you know anybody that's hiring? So he got me hooked up with Equinox. Okay, he was a good a good friend to me. I'm not gonna, he did good, and that's why it's betrayal hurts, because it's always from the people that you trust and people you care about. Those are people that you put your life in their hands for some reason. So I've made this mistake countless times where, because where I'm from, there is no, you have to make opportunity, because there isn't any. I know people say New York, or your dreams are made up, but fuck that. The fucking hood, people have no hope, okay? They really don't, and you have to make it happen. You have to literally make it happen. You need to create a crew and build it up, and you have to do everything from scratch, So that was the whole thing, and every time in the end, these people, they just bleed you dry and run. Even the last single I just did. Okay, I'll tell that story another fucking time. One of my closest students, just basically fucking robbed me. Okay? But so anyway, expert movement. So I went to Equinox. Okay, that's a whole other fuck story. So I did really well there, became one of the top trainers, and then eventually I was supposed to get a manager position. You know, they passed me up. I was, you know, teaching. I was a master instructor for location, and they started freaking stealing my stuff. And the other guy came in, one of the managers took my job, came in, started stealing from the company. So I had to quit because I was not going to get thrown under the fucking bus for that one. So I decided to create my own business, you know, expertmovement.com. And I'm talking about the whole back end, everything's done. I mean, I had huge clients. I'm talking about A-list clients. I'm talking about like, you know, executive producers, CNN, Dr. Oz, Ford models. I mean, I was at the pinnacle of my, you know, I went from zero to hero. And I wanted to, you know, bring my buddy in because, you know, he helped me get there by vouching for me. Just from vouching for me. You just said, hey, this is my friend. He's like, you know, he's like this crazy martial artist, you know, help me get a job. So I felt obligated to help, you know, to bring him in. So I created the expert movement thing. We had our magazine set up, you know, it was huge. Okay, the idea I had, like, you know, acupuncturists and massage therapists and martial arts instructors and trainers, and it was going to be a huge worldwide thing, you know, online magazines. So I brought him in. He decides that he's going to go to fucking Peru or something and go on a spiritual retreat and drink fucking ayahuasca and eat frog poison. Comes back all fucked up and fried, okay? Same time, the girl that I was with for 5 years, who nobody knows this, was histrionic and had bipolar. I took this fucking girl in because she was where she was living, she was, you know, a little fucking closet. I'm talking about a room that was the size of like this, okay? And 5 other rooms were all dudes. Her ex was moving into the next room. Guy, you know, knocked her up, she had an abortion, beat the shit out of her. So I said, you know what? Leave everything behind, come with me, okay? And we'll fix it. And when I tell you, you know, in one hand, this was the best girl I ever had. The other hand, it was the worst thing I've ever lived through. Because when she was good, she was the best. But when she was bad, she was fucking, it was terrifying. Okay? Terrifying. But who could I go to? Who could I go to? Right? It's my responsibility as a man. Just take it, right? Take the fucking, you know, the freak outs and getting kicked in the face, having my fucking, all my shit broken, you know? Knowing, you know, and I take it because I know she's sick, but, you know, she has nobody to take care of her. You know what I mean? So, if it wasn't for me, you know, she'd be dead. I mean this literally. That's a whole other story. You know? So, now I'm dealing with this, and then she winds up getting abducted by this fucking chick that I told her not to hang out with, winds up in a mental institution. I'm still paying all her fucking bills, okay? At the same time, my teacher's dying, this guy's fucking me over. Fine. So, I had to leave New York. That's why Expert Movement, I wiped all the info out and I started over from zero. Because my partner decided to go fucking do the ayahuasca thing, come back retarded, and then my fucking wifey wound up fucking abducted and literally brain damaged, okay? And then here's the funny part, you know, and this old wise guy is what I went to for advice. So I said, what do I do? How do I help them? He says to me, I said, you know, I know psychologists are bad, it's not gonna work out for me, but like I have to because what am I supposed to do? You know? I said, listen, here's what's gonna happen. Once you take us to a psychologist or a counselor, they're gonna immediately turn around on you and it's over. And it's like, there's nothing you can do. I took this girl to this counselor and now imagine this. I'm working fucking 60 hours a week. I'm helping my friend out. It's a fucking federal case. I'm working as a bodyguard. There's a federal indictment. People are dying all around me. This motherfucker's like on drugs. My wife is fucked up. You know, I walk into this counselor, okay? And it's this huge, blubbery, like blue-haired, you know, deep-ditty one of those, okay? And so I bring her in and I'm like, oh, you know, how you doing? I was like, you know, I said, you know, I went to shake her hand. I was like, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. And she looked at me with like the most disgust because, you know, and it was just like, ugh. And then I said, okay, well, you know, okay, you know, how long are you going to be when should I come back? And she just looked at me and slammed the door in my face. Okay? Slammed the fucking door in my face. Now, I think you guys can tell that I have very high level control of myself, okay? When I'm in a professional setting, I'm very polite to the point where like you could see the people from the Tai Chi community, they're like, you know, comment like, what happened to you? Why are you so mean? Because people don't understand You get what I mean? Like a man control my emotions, okay? I can let them out when I want to, and I don't want to. So there's no reason for anyone to ever treat me like that. But you're a counselor. I just brought this girl who's, I'm obviously the one taking care of her, right? But let's just say I'm the bad guy. Don't you want to know? Don't you want to talk to me and interview me? No, this counselor wanted to destroy me because I was a man, okay? 45 minutes later, I pick her up. I say, hon, would you mind if we start looking for some other people? Because, she was kind of mean to me. This girl had the craziest fucking conniption fit I've ever seen. We're in the middle of Williamsburg. She's screaming, fucking cursing, kicking the walls. And I'm standing by my motorcycle, I'm like, hon, can we please just get on the bike and go? There's a scene, like 20 people. Everyone's telling me to leave her. Just leave her. Okay? I'm like, I'm not leaving her. Even though I know that's what everybody else is doing, I'm not doing it. My buddy who was working, who was doing a federal indictment thing, I had sat with him for 8 months when he was like crying his eyes out because his fucking girl cheated on him. And when I told him was happening, he said, leave her. Okay? Everybody said just dump her. Okay? That was just it, but not me. No, I'm gonna stick around. So she goes to this fucking mental institution. Okay? Well, long story short, everything's fine. I miss you. I love you so much. I want to come home. Then, okay, so she calls me. She's like, and I was going up to these, places to house. I was giving her money, take care of her. You know what I mean? So I get this call. I call her. She goes, okay, so they're gonna change my medication, and I'll call you as soon as we're done. Okay, fine. 3 or 4 days goes by, and I don't hear anything. So now I'm calling. I had to call 5 hospitals because it's like a prison. Okay, there's one phone, and I had to call multiple things to finally get her. I get on the phone, and I finally get her to come, and they get her into the line, and it goes, hello, we have decided that I will not be coming back home. Goodbye. Okay? Do you think, nobody gives a fuck? Okay? Like, nobody cared. Okay? It was like, fuck you. When she got out, it was like a completely different person. Literally was just like, it was like everything I've ever done for this person didn't exist. It was like all the horror stories you would see about women on the internet when they just come and take all your shit and just want to destroy your life. That's what happened. Okay? And this has happened to me before, which is why I was prepared for it. You know what I mean? But I'm not stupid. So but I couldn't believe it. That after everything, it wasn't so much as her, because I could forgive her, I could eat the cost, I knew it wasn't her. What hurt me the most was everyone around her and us who saw how I treated this girl. She was treated like a fucking princess. She went from living for $5 an hour, so I built a business where she was making $150,000 to $5,000 a fucking, $150 an hour to $5,000 a day. Okay? And I created this bitch. In the end, it was like, give me this, I want that. Not thank you for helping me. Not thank you for sticking by me when I was in the hospital. Nope. But you know what? That didn't bother me. Because I understand female nature, I understand people. What bothered me was the people around us who were so envious of our relationship that they did anything they could to destroy it. You understand? From the counselors to the only person that was her grandfather, who was a pastor. He was the only one, okay? And the nun that lived next door to me. Every motherfucker who knew us was trying to break us up the entire time. And not a single person gave a shit about my emotional state, my mental state, or whatever. All they want to do is see me suffer. But the thing they don't understand is that I was built for fucking suffering. That's all I've ever known. So I can be happy in called graveyard humor. Anybody who's been in the military or who's like been in like an ambulance driver, you know what graveyard humor is, okay? You have to be able to laugh in shit and still enjoy yourself somehow. Otherwise you lose your fucking mind. So it's how I'm able to just like, I can just do it, change our life, have a bad day. And I hope I'm not boring you guys, but I'm going to get to the point in a second. The reason I'm really sharing these little tidbits is I think that just by knowing that, I'm not immune to bullshit, Okay? I'm suffering through life just like the rest of you guys. Okay? If anything, I just would, I forced myself to, stay on certain tracks longer. Was it Einstein? I think it was. I heard when I was a kid say this. It's not that I'm smarter than everybody else. It's that I stick with a problem longer. That's all it is. And that's something people are envious of too. Okay? So they fucking want to kill you. They want to hurt you. They want to screw your name up. They want to go and, like you see what the Reddit trolls do to me. You know what I mean? How many fucking years? They're acting like I'm just like, you guys seen it. But they don't get it. I don't care. So let's go back to my partner. And I'm going to bring this up to a common day thing of what just happened. So, I brought him to the business. He completely fucked me over, left me stranded, Finally, I moved down here, trying to get the business back started. Then COVID. Randomly, last month, and I didn't hold it against this guy because I was prepared to eat that cost. I already had bigger fucking problems. But he didn't do it with the intention of hurting me. You understand? He was trying to find his spiritual enlightenment, came back fucking retarded. That's what frog poison does to you. Okay? But, I still respected him for what he did for me in the past. And I didn't see that he was doing it with malicious intent. He didn't do it on purpose. So I stayed friends with him, even though he's a eclectic guy, And I do have a lot of respect for him for what he does. But recently he calls me up and says, hey, you want to come, do a talk from my, my group. He does this fancy, super sciencey breathing thing. So I'm like, sure, of course. My buddy, I'm not going to not show up for you. So I show up, and that's where you got that clip of the NYC, the AC wrestling coach guy. And he's the one who, it was him and his friends. He's the guy who knows all the, the world champion wrestling people. And I gotta be honest, I wrestled with them so many times, I don't remember which time it was. Because it was so many times, drunk nights where we all get together, go to a bar, get drunk, do this, do that. And then they're just like, yo, check this out. And everyone wants to fucking test me. So I'm fucking throwing guys to the fucking room. So we're like brothers like that, you know what I mean? But he comes to class, and fine. So everybody likes to talk. I don't even know why he asked me. I didn't know what the purpose was. If he was, building up his, I figured maybe he needed some social proof, or he needed a friend to come in and say, hey, I know people. And I understand that, and, and I see he's really trying to build his thing up. So of course I'm going to come in, and try to support you, And then he says, hey, listen, you want to teach a class, on Wednesday? I said, sure, I'll come in, I'll teach the class on Wednesday. So, I teach the class, and I was supposed to get paid for the class, and I got paid. Fine, because I wasn't doing it for the fucking money. Okay? But, then I start to notice, so many strange communication glitches, It was very excited, It was like, oh, yeah, we're going to have this class, and you're going to come every week on Wednesdays, going to do this thing, and, we'll charge $30, I'll pay you from here. And then it went from that, and then I'm like, oh, I'm building this course, and I want you to come and join us on our website, to, oh, what's your payment for, I'd rather not take the money. And then, it was weird. And the second Wednesday, I came in, and, we said it to the class, I'm coming in the second Wednesday. And I set up the camera, I do all this. Oh, wait, no. The second Wednesday, I come in, he somehow, my phone number, I didn't know this. I'm texting him for the information for the Zoom class. And I get that information, I try to join in, invalid session ID. So I'm messaging him on Instagram, on fucking his phone, and no one's answering me. I'm like, dude, what's going on? So he never answered my phone. Finally, it turned out that he accidentally blocked my number on his iPhone. I don't know, I don't have an iPhone, I don't know if this is fucking possible. But he accidentally blocked me on his iPhone. Told me, on the Instagram that whatever it was, and he was confused by it. So the next week, we set it up. The one after that, told me to come in, and it was the next week. I come in, I'm all ready, I get all my shit together, I'm all set up, and I'm waiting to join the meeting, and then he texts me, he says, you're not teaching today, right? I'm like, why would I not, how would I know that? We just told the class, I'm gonna speak to, we're gonna be here next week, The invitation you sent me is weekly for 20 weeks. What are you talking about, bro? Okay? So, anything? Hey, what's happening, man? What's up, Pony? I'm telling a story. I miss you guys, by the way. So that's what happens there, right? And I'm like, what's going on, bro? It's so bizarre. Like, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you're just overworked. Maybe you're just tired. What do I do? You know, like, what do I do? I let it go. You know, so then it was like, okay, we did finally the next week, we do the class. And, you know, I just jump off my phone because I'm like, I'm not going to I'm getting in this fucking session. We do the class. Supposedly everybody loves it, okay? And everyone wants to see keep going through. Maybe the days confused, whatever, but so everything works out. And then I said, okay, so people are like, oh, I can't make this class, but, you know, can you do a night class? And he's like, oh, I can't do the night class. I said, well, don't worry about it. You know, I'll talk to him later on and we'll figure something. I can figure something out for you. You know what I mean? If you guys want a night class, I'll make time for you guys. So I was like, let's go. You know, because he cut the meeting short because he had to go take another client, which I thought was also a little. But anyway, it was just strange, and because in one hand he brings me in to preach how awesome and how awesome I am, and then he tells me how much he wants to blow this thing up, and he wants to. And I'm like, fine, you know, I'm gonna give this guy a chance to redeem himself for fucking me over. You know, like really sending me back a couple of years, okay? Because that's what it did. It really it screwed me up, you know. So I'm like, fine, you know, I'll let it go. And then, so finally we're gonna schedule the classes, and I'm like, oh, fine. So we're gonna do Tuesday and Thursday, Tuesday in the morning, Thursday at night. He has a group. I don't even know what group he's advertising it. Doesn't even tell me. Okay. So the first class had 10, 20 people in it. Like, you have fucking a month. Okay, you have a group of 3,500 people. Only one person signed up. Okay, so one person for the communication is getting slower and slower, spread out more lies. Like, you know, he told me he was going to pay me for the Wednesday class, and I said, hey, you know, and I didn't want to push it, you know, but he told me I have everything in text message. Okay, so I'm going to blow up spots if I have to because and the reason I don't want to do this, but I don't know what this guy's telling people. I don't know what he's telling his class. I don't know what they're thinking. You know, it's just really fucking weird. You know, I'm just telling you guys, I want you to understand, you know, and hopefully this will help you in your life somehow and protect me legally because, you know. But yeah, so then I'm sitting here, like, what the fuck? That's cool. And, you know, he wants to, you know, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna send you money. He sends me like $30 for a class. I wasn't even gonna charge him. He's my boss. I was like, you know, I didn't expect that. I didn't want his fucking money. You know what I mean? It's just weird, man. It's just weird. But you know, then he's telling me, oh, you know, Thursday I can't make it, you know, but and this guy can't make it, so now I have to reschedule the class again. Oh, hold on a second. On the 20th of June, one Governor's Island, they're having a Tai Chi event. Some of the major players are coming out and George. Oh my God! If I can get that, I will. But I don't know how. And this story is part of the reason why I can't go anywhere. Because I keep getting fucking screwed by everyone. And the system itself has been attacking me for years. And people were arguing with me about it. And now it's doing it to everyone. Okay? When I was talking about shadow banning in fucking MySpace days, from the first fucking time of Facebook, from all the other, everybody was saying, oh, you're crazy, oh, you're crazy. Am I crazy now? Okay? Thank God, for whatever legal reason, YouTube decided to change its tone and being fair, because a 600% increase in 4 weeks, either it's God or whatever it is, but I'll take it. But I'm kind of stuck right now, guys. Okay, I'm in a bad position, and you know I don't look like it, but I'm not doing good. Okay, it's not good. You know, I'll talk about it later. But anyway, going back to the situation with this fucking guy. So, you know, we have these two classes, you know, and now both of the guys told me, yo, the class was amazing, I loved it, thank you so much, I can't wait to watch the video, I'll see you, blah, blah. Everything's great. The first class, everything's great. And then he texted me a comment today, and this is where I fucking lost it. This is where, like, I really drew the line. He tells me that, oh, here's some, randomly, okay, hasn't spoke to me in date. He sent, the last time I spoke to him was on Thursday, because he sent me money, because he wanted the copy of the video. So, which I would have gave them for free. I don't want his fucking money. But the fucking point is, that's the last time I spoke to him. So then I sent him, a text saying, hey, the first class has this, the second class has this is what's going on, enjoy yourself. Doesn't even say cool thanks. I never get any response. I don't even get okay, just a letter K. Just to say you saw what I said. Acknowledge my existence, motherfucker. Not even that much. Okay? So, today he messages me, telling me about some feedback from one of the members. Okay? Actually, you know what? I'm going to read this to you guys, if I can. Will it let me without breaking? Am I still straight? Okay, it won't let me. I don't know if it's going to let me do that because I saw it disconnected. Anyway, I don't know who this individual is. Thank you, Tony. And I'm glad to hear somebody else say that because I didn't want to believe that. I didn't want to believe that. I did because I looked up to this guy. I actually looked up to this guy. Like, that's part of the reason why I became such a high-level trainer, okay? Like, he was like, I looked up to him. You know what I mean? Like, it boggles my mind because I don't think like that. I have no envy or jealousy in my body. Like, the worst you'll get from me is like, I see somebody who has something nice and, oh, I want to get one of those too. And I go work for it. Like, I don't have that. You have it, and I have to ruin you. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, where does this come from in someone's soul that they see that you have something and it doesn't make them inspired to do the same thing. It makes them want to ruin you. I don't understand. I've been in this world for decades, okay? Reincarnated 7 times, I still don't get it. I don't understand, guys. I don't get it. But so then he sends me this message, and this is where it gets fucking nuts. So this woman had mentioned, he said, here's some feet. And I remember the last text I sent him was 2 days before, sending in the videos, confirming the videos, and I'm Johnny on the spot. When it comes to like my word and work, like I'm on the money, okay? And you don't need to if I shake your hand, we're done. Okay, word is bond. Okay, because where I'm from, if you don't fucking keep your word, you wind up dead or fucked up. So I don't play that. You know what I mean? Like my word is bond. Okay. So anyway, he doesn't message me back for 2 days. Doesn't answer the text, which is just like you ask for this thing, I send it to you. You say, "Okay, thank you." You know what I'm saying? Didn't get that much. So the text he sends me is, "Here's some feedback from one of the members," which I didn't ask for. Okay? But here's where it gets weird. So the first couple of sessions, he said, was on the cell phone. And obviously, a Zoom call on the cell phone is not exactly the best quality, but it is what it is. Okay? Which I told them, and I had my stream rig, which I set up with my, very nice microphones, perfect recording, the whole thing. So the first classes that I hosted were done in extremely high quality, better than his, I would say. But he says, yeah, so she really appreciates what he's doing with the qigong, and he was a great teacher, but the quality of his mic was bad, and he talks too fast, and I can't make those times. So and he says to me, and basically saying to me, and afterwards like, oh yeah, so you have to, this is the feedback we have. I'm sorry that nobody showed up, but I can't make them show up to your class. And you have to work on your presentation. I'm sure you'll be good. You should be really big on the internet someday. And, when I read behind the lines of what he's saying, why would you give me feedback from a month ago that's irrelevant to the day? We know this. We know the fucking phone quality wasn't good. I did it because you asked me to come in 24 hours before. Okay? I'm literally a monk on a mountain. I just moved in. My computer wasn't even hooked up. And in 24 hours notice, that's speaking to you for 2 fucking years, I jumped in and fucking held shit down for you. And that's the gratitude you give me, motherfucker? Okay? But then it was like, so I said to him, listen, she's a woman, and I don't really care about her opinion, You know, like, and he's like, what do you mean? It's, you know, don't say ignorant. I'm like, it's not ignorance. You know, generally speaking, how society works, when you ask a man his opinion, they will say yes or no, or they'll duck and run and hide from you. When you ask a woman for her opinion, this is societal training. A woman lies by default because they're trained to. It's normal in this society. And any woman who's watching this will tell you. Okay? They will lie to save your feelings and not be, you know, avoid confrontation. You never ask your girlfriend or your girlfriends for advice in business. Because they're never going to tell you the truth because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Or they don't want to hurt their feelings. They don't want to cause conflict. This is part of social psychology. It's not, I'm not like a woman hater. This is how it works. You know what I mean? And it just set me off. The fact that the whole narcissistic game that he was playing with me, but to think I don't see it, that was what bothers me. I've seen every mistake this guy has made, and I've taken note of every single thing. I just don't say anything. And I let people think I don't know any better. Well, you gotta understand, Tony, I'm not a controversial figure. You understand? You've known me. People would never assume controversy. I'm a 6'3", humongous Puerto Rican dude. I walk into Chinatown and walk anywhere, everybody's like, hi, right? I'm the softest guy in the world. There's no confrontation, no controversy. The controversy comes because the light burns. My light irritates people's fucking demons, okay? People don't like to hear that because they're so confused about spirituality. And they don't understand, you know, this being nice. What he is passive aggressive, making believe he's spiritual. He's not. Because you have to have honor. You have to fucking honor. What honor is that? You can't even fucking answer a text for 3 days from somebody who's doing you a fucking favor. And you're trying to tell me you're doing me a fucking favor? You're $30? I can wipe my fucking ass with that. What am I going to do with that money? You're not doing me a fucking favor. You do me a fucking favor? Okay, fine. You're out. Why didn't you invite me to your fucking... No, I'm not controversial. Was I controversial when he invited me to go teach his class? When he was using me to promote himself and show how cool he is and he knows me? I wasn't controversial then. No, it's controversial when it's like, holy shit, because I started to show them the real technique. I started to show them the real stuff. And never outshine the master is what the real problem was. It's true, but Tony, you're right, and you're right. You know what I mean? But the thing is, and this is why I'm coming back to my true form. Okay, I'm bringing the Brooklyn out. Because let me tell you something. You know, being humble, the way people think it is, has served no one in this world. In 2023, you cannot survive without emulating some form of narcissism. You have to, right? Like, you know how hard it is for me to post pictures and video? Like, because I hate it. I don't watch my own videos because I hate seeing myself on the camera. Okay? I was a model. Any shoot I ever did, I never looked at. I can't take it. I hate it. I don't even like looking in the mirror to brush my fucking beard. It's like I don't have it in me. I'm trying to fake it. I'm trying. But I do have it in me is balls. And you know, it's like, I don't want to be controversial, but the problem is when you're standing on the square of truth, okay? You're sitting there, it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, I could, and this is the thing with the comment when you guys saw that video, whoever that guy was, and like, why am I being mean to people? You know, what are you supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, guys, but it's like if I am the most humble, and I can play the Buddhist monk card, okay? I can come in, and let me tell you, I can play the Buddhist card better than the Adam Minzas of the world. I promise you, because I live it. I've survived a complete isolation where I didn't speak for almost a year. Okay? You don't understand. You know, I am that guy. I can do it. But does it work? Does it matter? if I try to follow all these pleasantries, okay, and cut my balls off and have no testosterone and kill my ego and walk around like a monotone guy like this with no emotions and blah 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 blah, it doesn't matter, right? Because it doesn't matter how peaceful you are. You could be the most peaceful, humble Buddhist monk. If you show somebody something that challenges their self-value, they will attack you. So what's the point? You get what I'm saying? Like, at least in this way, you know what? Now people know what they're going to get. Because let me tell you something. Every time I play that humble card and you play it around these people, what do? They think you're a pussy. These guys that a couple weeks ago I had this little, I didn't know we were arguing. I just made a comment on this guy's page. It wasn't like, there was nothing aggressive about it, right? He went and took it and posted it on Instagram and tried to get, he tried to gang stalk me. Literally what they did is illegal. Like, I had them put in jail, okay? What they did in Australia, like the internet, like bullying laws and shit, I can have every one of you fucked up. All of you will be fucked up, okay? But why they do that? Because they didn't realize how brutal I can be, right? You see the glasses and you see the suit, right? They don't realize that picture of me with the suit. If you saw the whole picture, I'm in front of a casket with the American flag. That picture on my YouTube, the little icon, is from a funeral, a military funeral, okay? I'm literally standing guarding a casket with an American flag, okay? But they see what they want to see. So they don't expect me to step up. You know why? Because nobody does. Nobody does anymore. No one stands up for themselves. And if you do, you're toxically masculine. Oh, you're a racist. You're a homophobe. You're a this. They'll figure out anything to call you if you stand up for yourself, right? No. You be a slave. You fucking eat my shit. I'm not doing it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing that. I can't do it. I just can't do it, guys. You know what I mean? And I think people who really understand real spirituality are going to understand this. That, these concepts, these paper tiger spiritual ideas do not translate into reality. The type of Buddhism these people are preaching is bullshit. It's slavery. The type of Christianity and the Muslims and the Jews, it's not the true way. It never was, okay? These people have literally perverted all the ancient teachings, all of them, to enslave us. All of them. You know what I mean? Like, the fucking Buddhists spawned the greatest warriors in history, okay? Like, you guys aren't pussies. How did we get to this place? So that's where I'm trying to get to, And I know I'm just rambling, and I'm trying to open it up to you guys, because I want to give you enough, that you understand me, but also you understand that you're not alone in dealing with life's drama, Like, I just happen to deal with way more of it than most people. I've dealt with 20 people's share of bullshit in my life, and I succeed anyway. And that's part of the reason why I succeed. You know why? Out of fucking spite. Okay? Sometimes I keep going just because, you know what? I'm just going to keep going just because you don't want me to. Just because. You understand? These idiots on the YouTube and like the gang stalking and I've been on government watch list, the fucking NSA, the FBI's watching me, the fucking YouTube people. I know everything. I play stupid. I knew what they were doing before they were gonna do it. You know what I mean? They thought that I was playing into it. You know what I mean? I purposely sat around streaming to one fucking person if they shadow ban me, just to prove a fucking point. I'm still gonna do it just to prove the point, and I'm gonna have records of you fucking me. So that eventually, you're going to get caught up in this shit. Whether it takes a year or 5 years, I'm going to get you guys back. I'm going to get my licks back. I promise. Okay? Oh, man. But, that's basically that. So now I'm sitting in this position, with this, this class I just started with this guy who's supposed to be my friend. And it's like betrayal after betrayal after betrayal after betrayal. And this is like fractions. Let me tell you guys what happened before I moved here. So this dentist almost killed me, gave me the wrong medications, basically told me to go fuck myself, I need a lawyer for that. Okay? I don't want to get into this, it's too long of a story, but some guy whose life I saved during the lockdown, and the whole reason I had a problem with the girl I was dating, so this fucking guy, literally might have poisoned me, tried to kill me, okay? Like, left me for dead. I'm talking about, guys, I couldn't get out of bed. Okay? I couldn't, for me to get down the stairs to walk the door, I was I had mold poisoning. And I was vomiting and shitting blood for months. Okay? And when I told people, oh, that's terrible. Okay? Nobody gave a fuck if I died. Nobody cared. Nobody gave a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But, it's just, so I wind up, fucking the owners of the house, they call me less than 30 days notice, they want to raise my rent now. Why does this keep fucking going? Come on, guys, leave me alone. Because it's still streaming. Okay, good. So they they basically wanted to raise my rent like a ridiculous amount. Now I'm in a 3-bedroom house. I kicked my fucking roommate out. I can't go to work because I'm fucking literally dying. Okay? I have to move now. So now I have to fucking move. This fucking... So this little Asian lady, she met... Why does this keep going out? They keep saying tap to review or whatever. So anyway, this little fucking Asian lady, she met me at this Vietnamese restaurant, and the owner was playing one of my songs on the radio. Right? So I do classical film scores and things like that. So the restaurant was really digging this stuff, and so afterwards she comes out and she's like, oh, nice to meet you. That was your music, it was so amazing. Would you mind if I take your number? Because maybe we could just be friends. I'm not trying to date you or anything. But I just want to, maybe you could be my friend. My friend was in Hawaii and by myself. So she gave me this super sob story. Okay? So I'm like, fine. Okay? So, against my better judgment, by the way. But I'm like, you know what? How bad can it be? So she asked me to come visit her, meet her dogs, right? And she was really nice to me. She actually took me out for my birthday. One of my trainer students came down. He flew in to see me. He actually got into a jump flight, what do you call that, a layover, just so he could come take me to fucking get a beer on my birthday, okay? So I went to the airport on the way back. I'm like, you know what, let me be nice to her. I didn't even tell her it was my birthday. I'm like, I promise I will come say hi. It was on the way home. So I'm like, you know what, I'll go say hi to you. So I go to her house, and this bitch is a hoarder. I'm talking about, I've never seen. I felt so bad, okay? The dogs were emaciated. I mean, it was fucked up. And, she had, her wife had died. She had MS, and she took care of her until she died. And you see all the medical equipment there. And, there was, this is a huge house, okay? It's there's, rich bitches. These very wealthy people. And so the upstairs apartment that you saw me with the orange walls. So that room was filled with, medical equipment and beds and da-da-da. So when I moved out, I'm like, and she was talking to me about, oh yeah, you can, you say, I'm like, you know what? Because I was talking about, I was looking for a place, and I was asking if she knew anybody. So she had, said, oh yeah, you can stay with me if you really need to. So we did. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. But finally, I was like, all right, you know what? I'll make a deal. I'll stop in for him once. It'll help me, because I was actually going to go to Thailand and get my teeth corrected because these dentists really fucked me up. That's a whole other story. So that was the real reason why I was like, I can't pay for this rent. I can't get my fucking surgeries done. So I gotta go into this position, alright? So finally I'm like, fine. So I'll make a deal with you. I will take care of the whole house for you. I'll clean this fucking house for you. And I'll give you $800 a month. Okay? She didn't want the money. So I wound up moving in there for a little bit. And I killed myself. And understand something. I was just getting healthy again, So I went from not being able to walk to moving 2 houses, playing drums on 3 albums. Like it was just, you go from nothing to go, go, go. And I did it with I'll show you guys pictures. I had a broken foot, you know. My foot was dislocated for 8 months. I was just walking on this swollen foot. Okay, all those videos, all the demos, my foot was like this big. I just didn't see it. So everything with the steel toe shoe on, from that, my foot was broken. So I'm saying this because I have 15, 20 videos because I was pretty sure this woman was going to kill me. And it's so bizarre how evil and crazy what happened to me was. And the reason I'm bringing this up, nobody would believe you. Oh my God, it keeps cutting off. But nobody believes you, you know what I mean? And I had to call the cops twice. All right? The first time the cop came and, you know, he put her in a place. And it was a thing. But I had to actually record this crazy chick. Why do you keep cutting me off? I hope it's not just dying. But anyway. So I'm going to cut this off in a minute and I'm going to restart and do like a Tai Chi chat stream. But hold on a second. When you say things people agree with the truth, sorry about it. I haven't really been reading this. I've been ranting. When you say things that people don't agree with, particularly if you're telling the truth, they do not want to admit when they... 100%. 100%. So anyway, this woman is the craziest. I mean, who would think a 65-year-old woman would be smoking meth in the corner? Like, before I left, I caught her, like, tweaking the fuck out. Okay, I have video of it on my fucking channel, okay? Like, when I called the cop, like, she should have been put in jail. Okay? Like, she should have been put in jail for this. But because I'm a man, and the second time, she had this episode where she chased me up the stairs. I had to run from a little old lady because if I touched her, she's gonna get fucking hurt. I call the fucking cops, and they come in. Who do you think you're trying to blame? I'm like, I have video, okay? So finally, and then finally, at the end, they took my side. But you know, it's kind of ridiculous, like when you're a man, you know, and especially when you're excelling at things, people want to find the fault in you. They want to see what's wrong with you. They want to see how to get you down, you know, which is why I almost never tell anybody what I'm doing. You know, when something good happens, I don't tell anybody. I don't share my successes because every time I've ever shared a success, people attack me. No one's ever happy. Okay? Like, I made this mistake with my friend here. 40 levels of power. I outshined the master, but I did it without, I was trying not to. In fact, when I was doing this class with him before, I'm like, listen, I want to give me some stuff to research and study and tell me, because I don't want to say anything that goes against your brand. I want to make you look good. Everything I was doing was to serve this fucking guy. Okay? Like, I'm his bitch. You know what I'm saying? But I knew it. I was like, I'm going to play this out. I'm going to see how you fucking handle this. I'm going to give you, because trust is a gift. Trust is a gift. You give trust away. Okay? And it's very easy, to get, but once you lose that trust, it's very hard to get back. It's impossible. And that's why I offered it. But, it's just a crazy situation, guys. But, what I'm trying to get at, overall, aside from just is that, yeah, I deal with shit too. I just deal with it well, okay? I am completely alone. Most people would put a bullet in their fucking head by now. All right? I don't know anyone. And I say this wholeheartedly. None of you would survive what I've just been through. Just being able to be alone. Just imagine that. I went through a lockdown for a month with no water, no electricity, and no one to talk to. In the middle of nowhere. Okay? I had to pull out one of my own teeth with a fucking wrench. I had to crazy glue my knuckles together. I got attacked by fucking wild animals. It was an adventure. Okay? It was an adventure. But, I'm trying to explain this to you guys. Like, you know, I didn't get to this position. Like, it wasn't just handed to me. I didn't just become like, you know, oh, that guy's on YouTube and he's fucking, like, I know some people, they, you know, they get these ideas. They don't forget that we're real people. You know, we're like you guys. You know, fucking, we're normal. But that's basically that, you know. I hope that, you know, sharing, because I know some of you people have been talking to me, and you know, I know what it's like. I read between the lines. A lot of you guys are coming to me because, you know, you need help. You know, you need somebody to talk to, and there is nobody. And unfortunately, guys, I have to tell you, that's part of being a man. It's horrible. Like, you have to just fucking eat shit and enjoy it. You have to eat shit. Like, literally eat shit and then come out with a smile on your fucking face. Because let me tell you something. Nobody gives a fuck if your mother died, if your fucking girlfriend has fucked your dad. No one gives a shit. If you're a man, if you have a dick between your legs, even though right now no one can tell you what a woman is, everybody can tell you what a man is. There's no fucking rules for women, but everybody still knows what a fucking man is. Everybody still knows. Everyone can still identify us and put us in our boxes and our limitations and our expectations and fucking basically make us disposable fucking creatures, right? Right? Isn't that how it works now? Society doesn't value men. So society doesn't value us, okay? They just don't. And we have to bring back communities that do. You understand? And I look at, you know, the glimpses I see of these fucking, like, these dating coaches and these fucking red pill assholes, and, you know, even like that Andrew Tate guy, who's basically me from fucking Wish. Why do you keep disconnecting me? So it's like, you know, basically me from Wish, okay? With fucking Illuminati money. You know? And they're all teaching bullshit. They're all teaching you, you know, just materialistic, selfish, narcissistic crap that means nothing, you know, in the grand scheme of the world. So, you know, just understand, like, you know, your suffering is your badge of honor. That's where your pride should come from. There's nobody to pat you on the back, you know, at least not me. I've never gotten a fucking pat in the back from anyone. You know, in fact, I think what happened was, I worked so hard and became so good at the things that I worked at that people assumed that I don't deserve a compliment or I don't deserve any support or I always have it handled, right? Because they always come to me. Everybody comes to me. I'm the stable one. I'm the one who has the answers. And I accept that role, you know what I mean? But, thank you, Alpha. I'm having a conversation. You can mind your business. Thank you. So, I accept that role. I do it gracefully if I can, but just understand, guys, all of us are suffering. Life is suffering, okay? And none of us are immune. None of us, okay? And, you know, some of these guys, I'm going to say this. If the devil isn't against you, he's walking alongside of you. And all these guys right now who are super famous on YouTube, you got to understand you were allowed to get that way. And people like me and all the... Look at, Dan the Wolfman. That's a great fucking example, okay, of suppression. And he's just like, that's a fucking channel, a perfect example they've done to us. Of all the good guys who actually earned it. Look what that fucking guy did and how YouTube treated him. You know? And then look at who's making it. You know? Like, people have no honor, don't show respect to their lineages. You know, they preach like fantasy football shit. You know? Thank you, exactly. So that's the deal, you know what I mean? And, Upper what? What? You wanna come up? Is that what it is? Come up. Come on, up. Come on, up. You're crying, right? Are you coming or not? Up. Come on. Hello? This wants to be a pain in my ass. There you go. That's what he wants. He wants to prick my balls. So, when you say things that people don't understand, yeah, okay, here's that. But anyway, that's where we're at, and you know, I don't want to. I'm gonna probably sign this off. And if you guys want to hang out, I'll come back on and we'll do a normal chat stream. But I just know there's so many people that are suffering, and so many guys that are completely alone right now that don't have anyone to talk to. Anywhere you go, There's no services. There's no resources. Like I remember one time like the CPS came to my house and I looked like a fucking mutant. Okay, my face was like this, my nose is fucking like this, like I'm bleeding from everywhere, and they said, "Oh, he's just a bad kid." I was 8 years old. Okay, if you're a man, you're disposable. It's just how it is. Don't forget to friend me on Facebook. I'm banned on Facebook. How can I friend you? I'm banned. I've been banned for fucking what year is this? I got banned a day before the 2020 election because I predicted all of the outcomes and they didn't want it. And not only that, I told the truth and they didn't want that either. You know, and what's funny is that the stuff that I was saying is not like, some of it was a little, but like none of it was against the, you know, the super rules. Like there's still people to this day that are out there, big names, that they don't want me to get out there because if Andrew Tate can do that, you know, I'll take it. Like, Andrew Tate is me from Wish with the Illuminati money. That's all my students say. Okay, and it's kind of funny. Like I grow my beard now, he comes out, he has a fucking beard. It's just coincidence, but it's funny. Okay, but could you imagine if the next generation had leaders like me? You know what I mean? They don't want that. That's what it is. And hopefully that's going to change, you know? Because I think that these people are starting to see that they've gone too far. So, but let me, since you guys want to hang out, right? I'm going to turn the stream off and I'm going to start a new stream and we'll just like do a chat and we'll bullshit and we'll hang out a bit, you know? But I know that this one was a random rip. I felt like if I just talk normal and let you guys hear some of my stories, it may make you feel better. You know what I mean? Like, you're not alone. We all deal with shit, you know? And I can't even tell you, because if I told you all the shit that I went, it would make you sick. It would make you sick to your stomach, okay? But I can tell you that I still get up. I've never slept guilty. And that's the one thing I would pass on to you. Your honor is everything. Your integrity is everything. You have to honor your ancestors. Okay? And as long as you live every day like that, you know, like it doesn't matter what other people do. And they can listen, they can take all the material things, they can ruin my name, whatever it is. I know what I did. I know what I did. When I wake up in the morning, I go to sleep, I know I'm good. I know I'm good with my God. Okay? I know I'm good. I did the best I could every single day. And that's what you gotta say to yourself. You do the best you can every single day. If other people don't appreciate it, it's not their fucking problem. You don't do it for them, you do it for you. You do good for yourself. And that may be the closest you'll see me get to like real narcissism. Is when I do good deeds, I do them for my sake, for the sake of doing because it's the right thing to fucking do. Because I want to know that I didn't turn my back when I knew I could do something. I can't do that, you know? And if you just, you know, you just try to live your life like that every single day, you know, just try to improve the situation, even if it's one little bit. Everywhere you go, just do one thing to make it better, okay? That's all you gotta do. And if you live your life like that, you'll find that even in the hard times, you'll get that self-soothing. You'll be able to understand how to deal. Because it doesn't matter who's there, you're there, right? God's watching. And I'm not talking about what you people think is God. I'm talking about the real deal, okay? You're not going to find it in the book. You find it when you're alone in the woods and you listen, okay? And when you know that you're right with God, you did the best you could, you'll be right in the universe. And nothing's going to be easy, guys. Life is suffering. Suffering has a cause. But, yeah, that's it. So, alright, so I'm going to reset the stream and I'll name it something else. I'll come back on in like 10 minutes and we'll do a little chit chat. You know, this if anybody wants to come back on, and I'll name it, I don't know, I'll name it the Cheat Chat. Okay? So grab some fucking tacos or something, okay, and we'll hang out for a bit because it's Sunday. You know, we'll do the fun day, okay? And yeah, Tony, man, if come back on in a bit. If I can get up to New York to that event, I would love to. I really would love to. It just people don't understand how bad. The people don't understand how bad the situation I'm in really is, and how badly everyone who I'm supposed to be able to depend on has fucked me. Like they stole from me. Everyone who was people whose lives I saved and who's like built COVID destroyed their mind. You know, they're not the same people anymore. You know, like too many people who are like literally of the Foot Clan. You know, like people who are supposed to like be ride or die. Their mind is gone. You know, and I've been completely isolated. I'm talking about like during this, these are people who have more than me, and I'm giving them the fucking shirt off my back. You know, and then I'm done with you. It's like something happened during COVID where there's so many people are lost. And so I'm literally in the great reset of my life where I've cut off so many people that don't deserve to be in my presence anymore. Okay? And I hope that it gives you guys the balls and incentive to do it too. Don't give your value away to anybody. Don't do what I did. Don't be fucking humble. That's why I'm so aggressive right now. Because I know what happens. You know, none of you, or I'm not saying to be disrespectful, none of you have the fucking will and the drive and determination that I have. I was born with this, like, you know? And if I can't make that work, and I'm willing to suffer, I'm willing to fucking stick with the fucking girl who's fucking, you know, literally insane and try to save her life, okay? And lose mine in the process. You know, I've lost teeth because I had a choice between paying for her dentist or mine, okay? I lived that life. I lived the Jesus life, okay? I did it. And what did it get me? You know, you can't, this fake morality has to stop. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your value, you know? And don't think you're alone, and don't be afraid to cut people off. You really are better off alone. You really are. I can't tell you, and people see me smile, I've never not been depressed. Depression is a feeling in your heart chakra. Your chest sinks, your lung channel closes. You feel weight on your heart. You feel down. You feel like, I lived my entire life that way. I've never, you know, until I literally had a colic, almost died, lost this, blah, blah, blah. And you know when I started feeling better? When I finally told people to fuck themselves. I said, I'm done. I'm done picking up your slack. I'm done being your fucking punching bag. I'm done being nice to you. I'm done taking your fucking shit. None of you people deserve it. I know you guys who listen to me are good people. Because if you're in my soul cluster and you can hear me and you understand me, you're a good person, okay? You have some kind of value of like, you understand ethics, okay? At a core level. I know you're going through this shit. I know you've been through it. I know you're probably going through it now, all right? If I survived all this shit and I'm still fucking here, you can handle whatever you're going through, okay? Cut them off, fuck everybody, start over, collect the people, and it'll make room. Because you see how my old friends are popping up out of fucking nowhere? Make the room. It's time to lock out, I basically lock out the left, right? They were canceling us, let's cancel them. Stop being fucking nice to people abusing you. Stop it. It's bullshit. Okay? Especially if you're a martial artist. Especially so. You're a fucking warrior. What kind of shit is this? Our ancestors would fucking cut their fucking heads off with a sword. Am I wrong? The disrespect that I've gotten on the fucking internet, this is what they should get. You understand what I'm saying? But we're in different times now. We can't duel anymore, right? We can't defend ourselves. The governments have a monopoly on violence. So what do we have left? As a man, we have two things. Saying no and leaving. Okay? So on that note, I love you guys. And you hear me say I love you, I'm grateful for your presence. Practice your gratitude. I'm going to come back on in a few minutes. Okay? I want to reset the stream, come up with a different topic, change the flow. All right? It's Sunday night. You know, if you guys want to come hang out, please come back, grab some food and stuff like that. Okay? And all right, I love you guys. I'll be back soon. Peace out.